Welcome to Micro WSLConf, a virtual event for the WSL community. My name is Hayden Barnes. I'm the engineering manager for Ubuntu on WSL at Canonical.
And I'm Sohini Roy, product manager for Ubuntu on WSL at Canonical.
We are excited to be hosting WSLConf again. We are glad you are here, some of you reportedly at 3 a.m. We last got together in March at the first ever WSLConf. We pivoted to virtual in just a few days due to world events, but we still had 2 days packed of WSL presentations. It was a blast and a huge step forward for the WSL community. Videos from WSLConf have since been viewed over 42,000 times on YouTube. While we wait to make an in-person WSLConf a reality, we couldn't wait to get everyone back together again. So we decided to add an all-virtual conference event for the fall. We're glad you're here. This also allows us to adjust the schedule to reach more of the growing WSL community around the world. It has been a big year for WSL. We had WSLConf in March. WSL2 launched in general availability in May in Windows 2004. GPU compute landed in Windows Insider shortly thereafter. And a few weeks ago, WSL2 was backported to existing Windows servicing rings, opening up WSL2 for even more users. GUI app and audio support are just around the corner. The distros, including Ubuntu, Penguin, Kali, continue to innovate on top of WSL. WSL is a platform that intersects numerous open source communities. This includes Linux distributions, developer tool chains, and open source applications. It makes open source accessible for 1 billion Windows 10 users. It breaks boundaries and opens up new opportunities for open source. WSL has 3.5 million monthly active users. Developers are using WSL to create stunning web experiences and submit patches to the Linux kernel. DevOps engineers and system administrators are using WSL to maintain mission-critical infrastructure at work. Most importantly, users are taking their first steps on the Linux command line with WSL. This is a remarkable opportunity for open source and the communities around it. Building on WSLConf from March, talks this WSLConf include database development with WSL, Java development with test containers, WSL in the enterprise, a talk on AI/ML with the engineers from NVIDIA, Kubernetes, Uno platform, which uses WSL on Windows to create cross-platform applications, Docker desktop on Windows, Closure, an update on sysinternals for Linux, WSL2 kernel hacking, and using snap packages on WSL2. We have speakers from Microsoft, Canonical, Whitewater Foundry, Docker, NVIDIA, and HPE. We have 3 Microsoft MVPs, 2 CNCF ambassadors, 1 Docker captain, and 1 Oracle groundbreaking ambassador. Speaking of community, we have Nuno, the WSL Corsair, Patrick from WSL Utilities, Carlos from Penguin. Matthias will be showing us how to hack our own custom WSL2 kernel. Daniel will be leading a workshop on snaps. So the community is truly represented. We'll have interactive Q&As with Craig and Avery from Microsoft, Ben and Simon from Docker, the rest of the Ubuntu WSL team, including Sohini, Patrick, and myself tomorrow, and more. For this all-virtual WSLConf, we examined all the available virtual conferencing platforms. We found one we think you will enjoy, that will reproduce as much of an in-person conference as we can. We have a main stage with most of our presentations, breakout sessions for Q&As and workshops, vendor booths from Microsoft, Whitewater Foundry, and Canonical. We have the opportunity to network one-on-one with fellow attendees, to share those crazy ideas that come up at conferences. You can click networking on the left of your screen to meet with an attendee one-on-one for 5 minutes, or invite an attendee to video chat from the people panel on the right. Please take a few minutes after this to explore the Hopin platform before our first talk. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you learned something new here. We want to bring Linux and open source to more users. WSL is a part of that. We are the WSL community. Welcome to WSLConf. Thank you.